Hi, and welcome to this short video about results we've achieved for a branch manager who had 6 loan officers and showing them how they could generate over a 2,200% ROI by better predicting the performance of future hires. But before we get started, let me show you our process that we use when doing projects like this. We first start with defining the group or the role and work with the managers to understand what information they have, what they've collected, what assessment instrument or instruments we might use to measure their individual traits, skills, abilities, etc. And then we apply the ultimate benchmarking process, which is something we have perfected over the last 20 years at PeopleRight. Once we have put the information through the process, we analyze all of the data collected. We compile the results in a way that's meaningful to the business owner. The branch manager in this case could be a VP, could be a VP of sales, could be a lot of different titles, but we work with a lot of different roles across a lot of different industries with this process, and it works very well across all of them. Then we summarize all of the key outcomes that came from the study and the analysis. And then finally, we calculate the ROI for our work in terms of what they can gain for what they have paid. After that, in terms of the next first step, in this case, was working with the branch manager who this company had 6 loan officers, and the branch manager ranked them from 1 to 6, best to worst. They believed they did not have any poor performers. They thought all of their current staff were either A players or B players. And they shared the previous year's performance history, in this case, how many loans they had closed in the previous 12 months. And finally, they asked us if we could create a benchmark that could help them predict or differentiate between who might be an A player and who might be a B player in the future based on assessment results. Our benchmarking process, the start of it is we had all 6 incumbents in this position complete a whole person assessment. And in this case, we measured 20 different characteristics for all 6 people. After that, we used the top 3 people, or the 3 A players in their mind, to create a high performer benchmark. Then we compared all 6 incumbents to this benchmark. And after doing all the analytics and analysis, we calculated an ROI for our project, for our work. In analyzing the data, we found that all of their A players scored at least 90% match overall job match. And the average of their 3 A players overall job match was 92%. The B players all scored in the low 80s, which again are pretty high scores, but they're not as high as their A players. And the average overall match for B players was 82%. In addition, the A players not only scored higher on overall match, but they scored 10 points higher on overall match, on cognitive job match, and on behavioral job match versus the B players. And lastly, the A players were closing 78 more loans per year than the B players on this team. When you look at that graphically, here's what it looks like. So overall job match percentages, they look fairly similar, but you can see there is a difference between the A players and the B players. And in loans closed per year, there was quite a significant difference between the A players and the B players. When you look at the actual details, it gets even more interesting, because if you look at the column that says manager ranking 1 to 6, and you can see how the manager ranked their 6 people. In this particular case, our overall job match perfectly correlated from high to low from their 1 to 6. That doesn't happen very often, to not have any exceptions in the high to low ranking. But in this case, that's how this one worked out. And you can see the average scores for each group. For the A group, overall match cognitive match, behavioral match were all in the low to mid 90s. And for the B group, all three of those scores were 82%. And again, the difference in loans closed was 78 loans per year. So rolling that up to a higher level, that with the three top LOs, loan officers closing 78 more loans per year than the B players, the average profit per loan for this company was $1,500. So hiring just one more A player in the future and avoiding a B player, and certainly hopefully avoiding C and D players, hiring an A versus a B would lead to an annual profit increase of $117,000. The investment for this project for this company was $5,000, and that included the assessment costs for their next four candidates. When you roll that up into an ROI calculation, 78 additional loans closed at $1,500 profit per loan is $117,000. 117 minus the project cost is 112 divided by the project cost, or 5,000, gives us a 2,240% ROI. So if you would like to see how our processes and tools could help you better predict what might work in your group so that you can reach your goals faster, have fewer headaches, spend less time dealing with lower performers, you can click on our schedule link below and schedule a time for an introductory call where we'll just gather information and share information and see if you and PeopleRight and us think it's a good fit for us to try and work with your group. We look forward to hearing from you. Thanks and good day.